Okay.
What does his deck do?
And his opponent, Samuel Wang, looks like he is playing
a deck that loses to Merfolk from the look of it.
Yes, indeed.
Jeez.
This is the same Trinket Mage Dreadnought deck we saw before. It's not Dread still. It's maybe a Dread Balance.
Yeah, I mean, Dread still is sort of an antiquated deck name at this point. It connotes, a deck with, it had countertop, but it played standstill for whatever reason.
Samuel, I think, is on the play here. Oh, incorrect.
Oh, wow.
It's turn 2, Alex Bertoncini with Merfolk, obviously.
Has no turn 1 or 2 play?
There was a rumor that Bertoncini was going to play High Tide today, but it looks like it was just a rumor.
Oh, yeah, no, that's complete tripe. The day that Alex Bertoncini plays something other than Merfolk,
I'd be careful what you say here.
I will guarantee that someone has some sort of...
Hold on him. Curse Catcher from Alex Bertoncini. No third land drop. Samuel Wang cracking a Flooded Strand.
Maybe he got a bad scout. He spell pierced his Brainstorm, right? He kept a hand with no 1 or 2s. Like, how many counters does he have to have? Like 2, right? He keeps a hand with no second blue source.
I'm sorry, I apologize. We'll note that there's a Wasteland that hit a Mutavault earlier, so there was a third land for Alex.
Okay.
So, continue though.
I mean, he keeps a hand that still hasn't cast, like, a real creature.
And here's a Trinket Mage.
So, like, do we think that he just got a bad scout on the guy and got told that he was on combo?
Alex is a good enough player that, he knows how to keep a hand for Merfolk. I think that's probably correct. He probably had a bad read on what his opponent had as a deck. And did we see what the Trinket Mage retrieved there? Was that Sensei's Divining Top?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he was told that his opponent was playing Countertop. I mean, this is a deck that has Counterbalance and Sensei's Divining Top.
Yeah, no, he definitely has the Wasteland right there. So, I mean, like, he's kept, like, 5-land double Wasteland hands against me multiple times, and, like, knowing that I was on a blue control deck, just because, like, you can mize so many free wins if you're playing Merfolk against a blue control deck. So Alex doesn't look like he has... He has an island in hand. I think we flashed by that one. But didn't want to attack with Mutavault.
Top looks like that's probably going to resolve. It's a heavy card to force the will fight over. Unless he's got... No, Spell Pierce could do it, but
I mean, Alex loves it when people play top, because every single time you spin top, you get further behind on board.
Rejury? Nope,
Kira. That's why he didn't attack with Mutavault. That makes a lot of sense.
And we get the top activation. There's a Swords in that hand.
Sure. So he's going to have to... Sam's going to have to Wasteland the Mutavault pretty much right away.
Spell Snare.
Oh, no. Kira doesn't work like that, sorry.
Force a will with a Spell Snare to get the Kira out of there. And that's a reasonable thing for Samuel to fight over. Sam doesn't want to have his Swords to Plowshares, and even his Wastelands become worse.
Actually, the way Kira works is it has to be... the trigger goes on if it targets a creature.
Right. Yeah, I understand. It only triggers if it's already a creature.
Yeah.
Yes, I understand that.
So, like, viling in Kira is not actually a blowout.
Yeah,
for those of you at home.
That wasn't the claim that I was going to be making. But what you can do is you can make sure that during combat that the Mutavault is going to be safe. You've got to actually press the Wasteland into potentially spots where they're inopportune for Samuel Wang to do it, perhaps during an upkeep, for example.
Yeah. So
Curse Catcher is dead?
No, Curse Catcher is Curse Catchering something.
What did it get? That's
very
something
odd.
I can't quite see. Something off the screen, perhaps. Swords number 1.
Oh, he Curse Catchered the Force of Will.
Yeah, there we go. And Swords number 1, Swords number 2. Wasteland to tear up the last card there. Alex with almost nothing left.
Yeah.
2 lands, 2 cards in hand, or maybe 3 cards in hand?
Yeah, and one of them's a Force of Will, so I feel like he's definitely...
Lord of Atlantis.
Had a bad scout here.
Lord does not have Island Walk himself. Needs a friend to give him Island Walk. A second Lord will give them both Island Walk. Other Merfolk. Trinket Mage number 2. This is going to perhaps pick up a Sensei's Divining Top that he shuffled away earlier. Is that a top? Looks like a top.
Yeah. Doesn't look like a Dreadnought. So, doesn't have a Stifle.
This looks like the exact same list that we saw in round 3. That list lost to Junk. Junk just tearing it asunder.
Yeah, a lot of the cards in Samuel's deck aren't really like objectively worth a card.
Marrow Regery makes the Lord of Atlantis a 3.
Yeah. So now Sam needs another Swords, or his Trinket Mages are pretty irrelevant. Oh,
Dreadnought.
He had the Dreadnought. Had it.
Game 1, there are no...
Oh no, he has Sower.
There's one Sower in the list. So he has an out.
Yeah. Solo Sower.
To be fair though, besides having the Sower, I mean, if Alex were to get 2 Lords on the table, it would actually make quick work as well.
Yeah. No, I mean, Merfolk is a very exponential deck.
There's one Lord.
Untap the island, send the Mutavault.
Here we go. That is
and we have ourselves a race, folks.
4 Island Walk plus
we've got
4 Island
12.
Walk plus 2, 3, 4, 5 is 13.
Oh, 13, right, yeah.
Go to 1.
Yeesh.
You've got a turn here to kill me. That's what I'm going to tell you. No cryptic commands here for Samuel Wang.
So his out, by the way, is killing him.
He could engineer explosives for 2 and get rid of all of the Island Walkers.
Yeah.
Get rid of all the island walking, I should say. To the next.
Yep.
That's how it's done. Now, if you remember,
just another day in the office.
Alex Bertoncini was saying, or we were saying about Alex Bertoncini's board that Alex had no real clock going on, didn't have anything happening, and then suddenly
cast
Lord,
Lord,
take 13.
Yeah, exactly.
And also, it's unblockable.
Well, you
Yeah,
realized
right?
in time.
There it is, I see it.
Yep.
You did realize.
So, looks like Sam's going to board in.
Engineered Plague, perhaps?
Definitely Engineered Plague.
Maybe Consuming Vapors, very slow card.
That thing is going to get countered.
It's very, very slow. I mean, one of the things about a card like Consuming Vapors is...
Hissing Needle for sure.
Yeah, that's going to go for the Aether Vial.
I mean, it has a ton of applications. Wasteland,
Merfolk Sovereign, etc.
I mean, I've said it to pretty much everything that Merfolk can activate: Wasteland, Mutavault, Aether Vial, Coral Helm Commander, Merfolk Sovereign.
So the easy ones to bring in here are the Needle and the Engineered Plagues. He also has Enlightened Tutors, which he could use to help increase his speed on those cards. Is speed what he wants?
His redundancy on Engineered Plague, I think, is what he really wants.
Right,
because
but I mean,
if you the first Engineered Plague is really irrelevant. The second one is very good.
Yeah,
but
I was going to say, is a card like Enlightened Tutor what he wants to do in this kind of matchup? Throwing away the card for the value?
I mean, I cut Force of Will against Merfolk just because there's nothing really distinctive about anything that they're casting. It's, do I want to counter his Grey Ogre or his Grizzly Bear? I mean, that's all it is. They're all Glorious Anthems, and it's just, you know, a 2-mana 2/2 or a 3-mana 2/2. That's the entire deck, is a bunch of Glorious Anthems.
Do you like the Stifles in this matchup? It seems like they don't really do anything besides activate an Aether, or stop the activation of an Aether Vial.
I feel like you have to keep them in because you really, like, you could board an Enlightened Tutor to go get Phyrexian Dreadnought and just race them.
Right. I mean, he's only got the one Dreadnought. He can board it out.
Yeah. But, like, if you just shotgun the Enlightened Tutor on turn 1 and, like, turn 2 Dreadnought Stifle, then that's fine. That's a plan.
Fair enough. And Alex's responses to a turn 2 Dreadnought are pretty small. Aside from actually just counterspelling it, he has Sower of Temptation and a sideboarded Sower of Temptation. He could, see, there's no forests from his opponent, so Submerge he'd have to cast for full value on 5. That seems way too expensive to try to go that way.
Nothing in the graveyard, so no Relic. Wand seems terrible. I would board in two Spell Pierce and one Sower.
Yeah. And the 3 cards to take out for that, perhaps...
Probably 3 Dazes on the draw.
And they shuffle up. Samuel Wang ready to present.
Alex is an old-school Legacy player. He cuts days on the draw a lot more than a lot of the more new-school people that I know.
those little subtle changes. A lot of people do this, right? They go, okay, we're in my sideboarded games, and for them that means games 2 and 3 are the same.
Yeah, no, that's
But
not
that's
true.
not the way it is.
This format is very different if you lose the die roll. I mean, that's why all of the, tempo decks have very, very swingy tournaments. Because if you win the die roll 6 out of 8 times when you're playing Team America, you can feel like you're on top of the world. Like, you just always get to stifle their fetch land? That's absurd.
Right here, this is round 6 of the Star City Games Open Series here in Boston. I'm Adrian Sullivan. I'm joined by our guest commentator, Drew Levin.
Hey, guys.
Now, Alex Bertoncini here, he currently has, in this current season, 101 points going into this weekend for the Player of the Year Club. He's level 7. What he wants to do is he wants to join Jerry Thompson, who Jerry Thompson this weekend nudged over the edge and became level 8, where you start getting a free set of standard.
A free 4X set.
Yes, a free play set
Yeah.
of standard. Now, I'm not sure what the value of that is. I know one person said that they thought that that'd be worth about $5,000.
It's about $5,000 over the course of a calendar year. Is
Right.
I think what it's budgeted out to
Yeah.
be.
Now, I understand that if Edgar Flores makes level 8, they'll give him a full foil set. Because
Are you
that's how he
serious?
play. I'm just kidding.
Oh, jeez. I would believe it, too. Like,
He only plays the foils.
yeah, of course.
Okay. Turn 1 Island from Samuel Wang.
Mental misstep. Oh, no, I
Aether Vial.
can't.
Is Samuel Wang a player you've seen at Legacy events?
I've
His
seen
name
him
sounds
around.
familiar.
I definitely recognize the name.
Another good reason to consider cutting Force of Will if you're Samuel Wang is that card right there in play, Aether Vial. A card you don't really want to spend the energy Force of Willing, but if you don't Force of Will, your Force of Will sure looks pretty foolish.
Yeah. Aether Vial into Mutavault looks like a pretty good start for Alex.
Now, Aether Vial, essentially putting Alex already, without a creature in play yet, as the beatdown.
Yeah. I mean,
It's going to be in
flashing
play.
his uncounterable creatures at the end of Sam's turns. Yeah, no, that's about the face I'd be wearing if my opponent
Yeah.
had Aether Vial.
Yep. Third land, Trinket Mage,
Ooh.
Daze, Hardcast. Cast the good way. It looks like a third counter on, can't be, it's second counter. Second counter on the Aether Vial.
So no Curse Catcher.
Wasteland, taking out the black-white scrubland. We have a Coral Helm Commander and leveled to level 2. Some people in Standard are even using Coral Helm Commander by itself
I
as a
see a
sideboard
Force Will in
card.
his hand, though.
There is an Engineered Plague naming perhaps soldiers.
Yeah, of course. Or goblins.
Wizards. Is Coral Helm Commander a wizard? Oh, I think it's a soldier, so it's probably on soldiers.
Yeah.
Mutavault is all those things, so
Yeah. I definitely saw the top of a Force of Will as Sam was shuffling his hand around.
we go level 4.
Take 4.
I believe Sam has a
Take 3.
Yeah, take 3. I believe Sam has a Source of Plowshares in hand. Second Coral Helm Commander into play, level 1. Coral Helm Commander, currently normally a 4/4, gives all other merfolk +1/+1. Also flies. The Engineered Plague is making it smaller. Source to Plowshares, trying to get rid of it and succeeding.
23.
Looks like he's rolling that up to 3.
Once the aggressive merfolk deck really starts rolling, it's very common to start seeing the Aether Vial's main phase activation, just so you can get extra damage in.
Yeah. Or combat step damage. Combat step activations, rather.
Marrow Regery. Now we're looking at
Yeah,
some
no,
free
now we're going to
spells.
untap.
Ding, 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 ding. Untap a land, please. Regardless of whether you counter it. This Merfolk Sovereign is being cast. Here we go. A little bit more mana. Now we've got a total of 3 Lords in play. That Mutavault is a 5/5, -1/-1 is a 4/4. And the Coral Helm Commander, it's 9 damage coming in.
Yeah, like I said, the first Engineered Plague, a little underwhelming.
Oh, it's only level 1?
Yeah. It only
Okay,
has one
okay.
counter on it.
Never mind. I'm going to have to retract that damage count by a big margin. I thought that was a little bit higher level, but no, it's not. So we've got a 1/1 plus 2 plus 3, a 3/3, and another 1/1 plus 2 plus 3, so 6 damage. Now if you'll count 3 lords, 2 mutavaults, his opponent's dead next turn, and that's it.
Yeah, this is exactly the sort of deck that Merfolk can't ever lose to.
Yeah, I mean, it can lose. It just has to have the kind of draw that you never should have kept.
Correct.
That's
I
one
mean,
of the...
well, and